So recently, I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was awesome. Dan Aykroyd ate Paul Feig. He did. He did. So let me give you some details here. This coming from Deadline.com. Dan Aykroyd blames director Paul Feig for Ghostbusters reboot and says it cost too much. And it was glorious. I love Dan Aykroyd. He just eats him alive, and I'm going to play this video. I'm going to actually put a clip on here and see if I get a copyright strike. Hopefully not, because I hate disputing things. But I have to let you guys see this because the face, Dan Aykroyd's face in this is priceless. It will more than likely be the thumbnail.
On to Ghostbusters again, huge, still going because they've just made a sequel, not a sequel,
yeah,
a remake of it.
Great in it. Kate McKinnon and Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, what wonderful, wonderful players they are, and Leslie Jones. I was really happy with the movie, but it cost too much. and Sony does not like to lose money. They don't. But it made a lot of money around the world, but it just cost too much, making it economically not feasible to do another one. So it's too bad. The director. He spent too much on it, and he didn't shoot scenes we suggested to him. Several scenes that were going to be needed, and he said, no, we don't need them. And then we tested the movie, and they needed them, and he had to go back and about 30 to 40 million in reshoots. So, yeah. Wow. So he will not be back on the Sony line anytime soon.
But the original though had Bill Murray.
I mean, look. He was just, do you see that face? He is so satisfied with himself. He's like, it was all like, I dare you to say something, Paul. Dare you. Try it. Try it. I want to, he's like, I just ate you, and I'm going to go back for seconds. Don't you, I mean, you could just tell that Dan's got the power in Hollywood. Paul is a bit-time player compared to Dan. Dan Aykroyd's awesome. I love Dan Aykroyd. I grew up watching Dan Aykroyd. If there were a fist fight between these two, Dan Aykroyd would just eat the man alive. His Paul Feig with his smug look and his glasses and his hair and his suit. I mean, boy, those look snazzy. And we'll see if any of this remains to be true. We'll see. We'll see if it's just trash talk on Dan Aykroyd's part because it's Dan Aykroyd. Could just be trash talk. But the funny thing is right after Dan Aykroyd did this, there was an update and it says Sony Pictures has refuted Dan Aykroyd's version of events, saying that the reshoots he referred to actually cost between $3 and $4 million, not the $30 and $40 million Aykroyd described on Britain's Channel 4 earlier today. They didn't even lose a day responding to this. I mean, they spun this thing in a few hours. Now, Deadline goes, that does sound like a lot of money for reshoots, but what they're not considering is that dance number alone that was supposed to be in the film and was so stupid and so out of place they just slapped it into the end credits cost millions. Millions. So there's no telling what Paul Feig actually shot that had to be scrapped and replaced. You know, all told, it wouldn't surprise me if the waste of money was in the tens of millions. And look, let's be honest. I did a review of the Ghostbusters film, and I'll put the link to that here. And I did my best to pick out everything positive that I could in that film. And I was very nice. And I was very cordial. And it did give me a warm, fuzzy feeling to see Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson in that film. To see them on the big screen after I've not seen them, either one of them in so long. I would say Bill Murray too, but that role sucked. It was disrespectful. It was not funny at all. It just sucked. And you know what? That movie sucked. The goodwill that I had for it, and thinking that, you know, Dan Aykroyd's getting paid for this. The original, the OG guys were still getting some money off this because they own the rights to it. I was like, that was the only salve I had to buying that movie ticket. There were some good points in the film as far as CG goes and, you know, how it was technically done pretty well. But it just didn't make sense. A lot of it wasn't funny. You know what? I just need to get off this movie. If you guys want to watch my review, it's up there. Check that out. It's actual video review, so you get to see my bald mug. But yeah, to me, Aykroyd's being generous. He's saying, you know, I mean, this is probably the bare bones of why it wouldn't get done, but at the same time, it's like, well, it sucked. I mean, nobody liked the movie, so why would they actually do it again? You know, they have the whole Ghostbusters division over at Sony where they were trying to like expand the franchise. Everybody wants to make everything into Marvel. It's enormously annoying. It's hugely annoying. You know, Universal is wanting to make their monster universe now with all the Frankenstein and starting with Tom Cruise's The Mummy that's coming out this weekend, which is going to bomb. Money's on the table. It's going to be a huge financial disappointment. And I think I'm going to do a video for what movies I think, whether or not they deserve it, are going to bomb this year. So far, I've been right with a couple of pretty easy to call movies, but I just want to see, I want to get it like on video and see if I can embarrass myself a lot or actually nail a few of these. But I don't think The Mummy is going to do that. I don't see there being a giant need with audiences for this movie. I mean, I'll go see it. It's probably a good, fun movie. But will they make an entire like universe out of this thing? It's just that people are trying to make universes out of everything. Everything. Sony's trying to make their Marvel universe, and you got the MonsterVerse here, Ghostbusters verse. I mean, it's just, stop. Not everything is Marvel. Not everything needs to be Marvel. I like good, smart written stories that kind of interconnect together, but it's just not. Just stop. Just stop. So anyway, Dan Aykroyd, good on you. I just like seeing Paul Feig get the smugness slapped off his face every so often.